Life is just a game. And any situation you find yourself in is like in a game. The secret is to just learn to play the game without being affected by how the game will end and to be able to walk away when the game is over. How many people live in this body, right? So I am just one person here, correct? So this body is my space that I can choose how, in what experience to keep it and to not get enslaved to situations around me and to create that integrity for myself that no one can invade that space that I create within myself. So, unfortunately, that's the situation in which most people find themselves nowadays. So, they protest that they don't want to be encaged. But then, when you give them freedom, when you open the door of the cage, they're just going to sit there, not daring to step into the unknown. Hello, hello, Monica here. Good to see you today. I'm here through the forest. So, today I want to talk about loneliness and how not to be lonely. Now, here's the thing about being lonely. Now, loneliness, just like any other feeling, whether it's joyful, happiness, depression, anxiety, fear, anger, let's pick any feeling in this world that you ever lived. Where did you experience it? Within yourself, correct? So anything that you ever experienced is within yourself. That means that the source is where? Here. And this one is the source of anything that you ever lived. Now the problem is that you do not get to choose how to feel. The problem is that you don't have the control over your own feelings or emotions or states, right? But if, for example, I can be joyful in this moment right now, if I can be joyful, is it possible that I can be like that every moment of my life? Well, yes, because if it's possible one moment, it's possible in every moment, isn't it? If only I would have control over it. So the problem is not that you are lonely, is that you cannot shake it off, right? Is that you don't get to choose consciously if you should be lonely or not lonely. So the problem lies there. So we need to start with that. So how to start with that? Well, that means that if every experience happens within ourselves, that means that what we need to really look at is why is our happiness determined by situations or people that are outside of us. Now, if somebody can dictate how you should be within yourself, or if a certain situation, such as being lonely or alone, can dictate how you are within yourself, that means that you are a slave to that situation, correct? So if you cannot create a situation that you want and it's dictated by outside circumstances, by the outside circumstances of your life, that means that you are enslaved to that specific situation, correct? Or circumstance. So this is where we need to look. You need to see that the source of every experience in your life is within you, and you need to look at your life and see everything that makes you unhappy and see that you are enslaved to that situation and ask yourself, why? Why is my happiness depending on this person? Or why am I only happy if I get this career? Or why can't I be happy with this much money? So you're always looking at things to fulfill you from outside. And this is why loneliness is one of them, right? If you're not in a relationship, you feel lonely, for example. Why? So you need to look within yourself and you need to understand that if you depend on situations or the circumstances of your life, whether it's loneliness or something else, that means that you are in a state of slavery, right? So that's bondage. But you don't want slavery, right? You want to be free. You want freedom. Now, freedom takes a certain courage, right? Freedom takes a certain willingness to do only what is needed, depending and never depend on what you feel, right? So, for example, if like there's been actually experiments made in this field, if you take any animal for that matter, but let's say a bird, right? If you keep a bird caged for long enough time, the day when you open the cage, guess what? the bird won't fly away, even if it was born to fly, right? So unfortunately, that's the situation in which most people find themselves nowadays. So they protest that they don't want to be encaged. But then when you give them freedom, when you open the door of the cage, they're just going to sit there, not daring to step into the unknown. So that's why I'm saying that freedom takes courage, and you need to build that courage within yourself to do what is needed for the situation and not get trapped with what you've been doing in the past, right? So just because you've been caged until now, you don't have to be enslaved forever. If you've been enslaved by certain people or situation in your life, or you are right now, that doesn't mean you have to stay like that. You create your own boundaries. So isn't it beautiful that how many people live in this body, right? So I am just one person here, correct? So this body is my space that I can choose how, in what experience to keep it, and to not get enslaved to situations around me, and to create that integrity for myself, that no one can invade that space that I create within myself. Correct? So that's all that you need to do. So all you need to do is understand that happiness comes from within and you can access it, but you need courage to be free from the bondages of the past, from enslavements of the present, if you want to call it like that. How to get that courage to understand that life is just a game. And any situation you find yourself in is like in a game. The secret is to just learn to play the game without being affected by how the game will end, and to be able to walk away when the game is over. So, for example, let's say I like to play, I don't know, let's say I like to play basketball, right? Now I go and I play basketball, I enjoy the game. But when the game is over, I don't want the game to be over. So now I take the ball with me, I take it on the street, I take it home, I hit it on people, I hit it in the wall, I keep playing basketball. Now somebody's gonna come and take me to the police station eventually, right? If I bother enough people. So my point is, don't do that with your life. When a game is over, okay, it was over, let's look for another game. It's like I have this body, it's like in that movie, Avatar. So you have this body, you get to play some games with it. Every day you get to play a new game, right? A new possibility. But you need to know to enjoy the game, and when the game is over, anyway, a new game will come. Because as long as you're alive, we don't know what happens afterwards, but while we're alive, every day is a new game and a new possibility. So these two things you need to apply in your life if you want to stop being lonely. So first understand that you generate any experience within yourself, and you should never be enslaved to people or situations outside of yourself. That should never dictate the state that you're in. To do that, you need to be able to step outside of your comfort zone and be free, right? So do not be enslaved by people or situations from your past. To do that, you need to treat life like a game and understand that you have a body, you have a mind, you have your own intelligence, you have this private space of yours that no one can invade, and you have the integrity to walk away from people or situations who, make you unstable or afraid, or who cause suffering to you, or who make you enslaved. So these two things you must do, right? Learn how to be free and learn how to be playful. So that's the short story of this video. So I hope this helps, and I wish you a great day. And do not forget, today is a new game and a new possibility, and you dictate how you are within yourself. So bye now. Mwah.